Today we're chatting to New Adventures leading man Dominic North about his drama school audition stories. Dom has performed for Matthew Bourne's New Adventures company for over 15 years. He's played the lead and performed in most of the company's rep. Am I right in saying that I think you've performed in almost every single production for New Adventures?
Yeah, pretty much. I think I've done 10 of the 13 shows.
Is there any of the three that you're still desperate to do? Would shout out to Matt Bourne and try and get into a cast you?
Actually, all of them a little bit, because two of them especially are quite older shows, like Play Without Words and Highland Fling, that have been done when I've been in the company, are two of my favourites. And then the most recent one I wasn't in was Romeo and Juliet, which again I was blown away by, and maybe one day, we'll see.
Well, Play Without Words would be my choice, so maybe we can both do that.
Oh, I'd love that, mate. You'd be great.
Getting older, we'll probably be with Scott Ambler and
Steve
Steve Kirkham.
Kirkham. Yeah, who's who?
So Dom, what schools, when you were applying for colleges, where did you audition for?
I auditioned for Bird, Lanes, Central School of Ballet, and Northern School of Contemporary Dance. So it was kind of like a ballet school, a contemporary school, and two musical theatre schools. And I got into all three schools, but it was the scholarship and the package. And Central actually helped me out with funding, hardship fund, because long story, parents divorced, I was a twin as well, my sister was going to uni at the same time, so it's kind of like quite dear. So the whole package, kind of, with Central School of Ballet was the one I chose, but also because they did jazz and contemporary and singing, because that was where my passion was originally. It was jazz, modern, tap, then into hip-hop. Ballet was kind of further down. In the end, it was the right choice, I think, although I'd have loved it at any college. I just wanted to give it all a go, really.
Did you do any acting? Because what you do with obviously Matthew Bourne's New Adventures now is heavily acting based. A lot of the shows. I mean, we've worked together a few times, and you do as much research on the acting part of what are deemed dance shows than I've done in a lot of the musicals I've performed in.
When I was a kid, I did a bit of drama, but not like acting courses. I never considered myself an actor, even when we were doing the drama lessons or A-level. It was just something that I thought you did along with the courses. And then when I got into the wider world and into New Adventures and kind of with their direction, I still didn't think I was much of an actor, really. I just thought it was quite a dancer. And then it was just the shows and the roles in the company and Matt Bourne's kind of like director, mentor, kind of nurturing me, that made me think that I was able to do stuff like that, I think.
But he does train actors. He absolutely trains actors.
No, I don't think I even realised I was getting taught how to act. I think it was like, Matt, Scott, their way of getting people to act to counts and to music, that then tell a story. And it's only when you watch the show or you realise later on how they've managed to get that out of you. It's so clever. Because
you applied for quite a different range of colleges, do you remember what you had to do? Because I assume you'd have had to do acting pieces, songs, and did you have to do like a ballet piece or send ballet shots for places like Central?
Well, I think it were three pictures. I must have them somewhere. They won't be great. They were to get into like an audition in Leeds for Central, and then if you got made to the final in London, and then I think it was both times it was a classical class and a contemporary class. For Lanes, I never remember for Lanes. I still remember my audition solo. I thought it was the best thing ever. Where I trained was like a train station building in Bingley near Bradford, and it had an L-shaped studio, so the solo kind of went like that way. So when I was in like the big studio theatre at Lanes with Miss Betty and all the panel, I had to kind of think on my feet and readjust it, and I came out going, wow, they still wanted to let me in the college, so.
That solo must have been good. The famous Dom North L-shaped solo.
Oh, mate, it was a dream. I think I did a jump at the end that was so close to them as well. I landed on the floor and they had to stand up from the table to look down where I'd ended.
What advice would you give to people that are auditioning for dance companies?
You kind of got to know what you're going into and who the director is or what their kind of rep is or their work or the show. So I think a bit of research is handy, and also be yourself as well, because they want to see if they can work with you for, I don't know, a 6-week rehearsal period or a year tour or, you know, a West End show, whatever it is. They want to know that they can work with you, so you've got to be yourself in the space, but also around the room. They'll be looking at you when you're not just trying to dance, but at the same time you've got to be seen. Don't hide at the back. Be the best you can be that day. Don't judge it on like, that wasn't my best, or that you've just got to commit to it. When we're on the panel, or if I'm teaching or something, the thing I like is normality. You know, how they're going to be.
Have you had any audition horror stories?
I've seen some horrors. Do you know when I had some bad ones early on, where it was like commercial kind of auditions for like film or music videos, kind of when I was on like some agencies that kind of like hip hop, that kind of commercial world, and there was some like...
Is this when you had the bleach blonde hair?
It's definitely a mullet involved, yeah, and probably some eyebrows shaved out and maybe an undercut. Maybe a bandana, could some velour tracksuit, could have been anything in the...
being authentic, being yourself.
Yeah. Urban Leeds. So I think it was kind of like freestyle thing. And he just come in, and it's like, yeah, start up rocking, top rocking, whatever you call it. I think I once like went into a freeze and it went wrong. I ended up like landing on my head, but trying to style it, but I'd winded myself quite badly. And then when I got up, I was just like trying to get out, and they obviously were waiting for more, and I just didn't give them any more. I did get that one. Also, forgetting words to songs. I mean, how many horror stories have I got? I literally couldn't think of any, and now they're rolling.
Yeah, it took you a while to get going, but it turns out...
I once just don't know the words, but they're coming back now, and then I'd just be like...
Of all the people I know, though, you're probably the king of styling them out.
I think I even said something like, this second verse is always the trickiest, and then I'll just...
If you could hear the audition story of anybody in the world, who would you want to hear?
I was thinking that there's like big actor people that you don't really hear of much, or don't do interviews, like Daniel Day-Lewis and people like that. You don't hear much from, so it'd be somebody of that caliber, kind of. So, you know, triple Oscar winner is where I'm going. You know, I'm going for the top.
Daniel Day-Lewis. We'll see what we can do there.
Or I'll have yours, or Lauren's. I'll be fine with that.
Mine or Lauren's, yeah. Lauren's actually a bit more entertaining than mine. I'll leave her to tell it, but it definitely involves her leaving blood all across the studio and art's head.
Did she carry on as if nothing had happened?
Of course she did. Of course she did. She's a pro.
Pro, yeah.
Mate, thank you so much for giving out your time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, mate. Anytime. Good to see you.
Always a joy. Domi, see you in a bit. We really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. We would love you to let us know whose audition story you'd love to hear. Leave it in the comments down below and we'll do what we can to get that actor for you. We're Chiron Audition Prep and we'll see you next time.